Starfield, everyone's favorite game to not play and talk badly about on the internet.
I can't believe it either. We actually have an update for Starfield that looks to significantly, in my view, improve the exploration experience. And that is that they
What exploration? And two, we will be the judge of that, sweet cheeks.
have actually gone through and added a rover to the game. They just announced this at Gamescom earlier today, and then they shadow dropped it with a big...
Imagine something that any reasonable gaming studio of AAA standards would consider a minor update gets a whole spot at Gamescom because that's just how bad things are. That's telling.
Big update for the game to get people back in before the DLC comes out here in a matter of...
I can't wait for the DLC. It's gonna be great. For absolutely ripping it a new one.
weeks slash a month and a half-ish, but I figured we would give this a shot. Now obviously I have some pretty firm opinions on Starfield at this point. I have played the game a lot, and I've also made a lot of videos on the game. I've even made an 8-hour deep dive called the Starfield Saga, which I'll have linked in the description box below, which is, let's just say, comprehensive. But in that video, I explain a lot of the problems I have with Starfield, a lot of my issues with how they designed it. And one of the big issues is just how they designed exploration, the very concept of exploration.
They didn't design exploration. That's the problem. There's no exploration. All the things that you see marked are the only things that are even remotely going worth to. And even then, it's usually a disappointment.
In the game I think is severely flawed, at least until now, and that is if you look at a map of the okay, this isn't scripted. Why are all of the textures planet material? The swap hasn't occurred. You shouldn't be seeing this.
I think that's called Bethesda quality.
What? Did I...
One step forward, 2 steps backward, and then dragged 5 steps backward yet again, Bethesda. Okay? Let's make a bet. How many patches it's gonna take for them to fix this? And after they finally fixed it on presumably the 3rd attempt, people are gonna report, nope, it still happens sometimes. Oh boy.
Okay, like this is not scripted.
So everything looks like
I'm
that?
genuinely confused because I just loaded into a save and all of the planet textures are gone. Okay. I'm okay.
Well, to be fair, the planet textures were not that great in the first place, so this is arguably not even bad.
Starfield update, surprising Luke and breaking his brain. Let's go back to whatever the hell we were talking about. Okay, I don't know how to deal with that. But if we go to surface map, this is what I was trying to show you. So
it looks so empty. It just looks so empty. This is why they didn't want to have maps in the first place, okay? You open this up and you look at this and it's like, nothing, 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 nothing. That's a lot of nothing.
Trying to show you. So,
and by the way, I can already tell because of the small quantity of, you know, actually AI generated stuff that most likely a couple of these are just copies of each other. For example, this is a copy of this probably to a certain degree. And these small ones are probably also almost copies of each other.
Trying to show you. So full disclosure, I don't know why it's doing that. I have some creations installed, which are like the official Bethesda creations, like for the added Vulture quest line and stuff.
Paid mods that are not worth it, he says.
That they have officially released. I don't know why it would be causing these issues, but it's kind of beside the point of what I'm actually trying to show.
Also, I just want to point out one thing. Dude, that looks so awkward. this just looks kind of awkward. Now this could be realistic. I honestly don't know how a shadow on a ring works in space. Haven't seen one, but this just looks so awkward. It's insane. Also, well, you know what the part that's not insane is? Well, it's the fact if you draw a line like this, and a line like this, seemingly the shadow is casted from the wrong perspective. It should go like this, right? It should go like this. I'm looking in OBS. See? So it should be like kind of like this, but it's here, which would go like something like this. You know they made a whole goddamn update for this crap, by the way. You know they made a whole whopping update and talked about this like this was some kind of great achievement. Well, yeah, physics breaking achievements right there, boys.
But it's kind of beside the point of what I'm actually trying to show you, which is exploration in the game. If we look at how this works when you land on a random spot.
And again, am I the only one who cannot just stop seeing lines when someone opens the map? Because all of these rocks are in a line, a very, very line, horizontal and vertical. And then they just intersect and congratulations, there's an obstacle then.
On a planet or moon. You can see in this case,
like you can see it perfectly here. Look at this. This is just a straight, almost perfect line. And here's another one. And then there's like this. Oh my lord.
I picked just a random spot on the moon of Boner. There's like points of interest marked, and then you can see all of this emptiness all around the map. And this is sort of the fishbowl that's been procedurally generated around me for me to explore when I pick that random spot. And the reason, in my view, there's a big problem with Starfield's original design of exploration is that in order to really explore, you just kind of have to run in a certain direction and hope you find something interesting. But as you do that, this is the gameplay. You're just holding down W and running forward.
Now the trick is that he's never gonna find anything interesting.
Hoping to find something, and maybe you do. Oh, there's a ship over there, so there's that. But once you reach that,
that is not interesting. Trust me, when you see the first ship, you're gonna be like, oh, a ship. Oh, wait, that's the only thing that happens? Very cool, Bethesda.
At that point, you're just gonna turn and run over in that direction and hope you find something else. But all the while, even though I see that in front of me, I'm just running, and this is it. It takes a...
Well, the fun part is supposed to be jumping and using the jetpack, but this is Bethesda that we're talking about. So something that is literally a pivotal part of the gameplay, literally baked in and designed to be used at every opportunity ever, the jetpack, is locked behind talent points. Yeah. It's locked behind talent points. You can't use a jetpack unless you have a talent point. Fun. Very cool design.
An uncomfortably long amount of time to get anywhere, and even then you might arrive at a point of interest that isn't actually...
Listen, we have had 20 years now trying to make talent points interesting. Starting from World of Warcraft Classic, where you had a bunch of talent points and you picked them, and some of them were bad, some of them are not that interesting, some of them are damage multipliers, but it was what it was. And then it slowly moved to condensing them down and giving you big options. Less, but big options. And somehow Bethesda, after 20 years of other games trying to make talent points good, managed to completely ruin them in all aspects possible. Truly a great company.
Actually interesting. And so I think it's a real fatal flaw in the way that they set up the procedural system, is just frankly that exploration in Starfield is boring and becomes increasingly boring the more that you do it. And I actually will...
Also, the unchanging lens flare from the sun is dumb.
I'll defend Bethesda a little bit. I think that this was sort of the brilliance of not including like maps for planet surfaces, because when there's a map of the planet surface, you can pull it up and look at how empty
Brilliance, he says.
it is and realize, oh, it's not worth running over here. There's not really anything really interesting there. Sure, technically random things can then appear and you could discover them and they're just not on the map, but this really makes you realize how empty these environments are. And so I think that these maps actually do more harm than good, frankly, with a lot of this. I think they
Thank you, Luke, for coming to the same conclusion everyone else came the first minute the maps were introduced.
actually discourage people from exploring, but you know, that's a whole other issue for another time, where I think that addition to cities, like city maps, was a good addition, but I think adding maps to planet surfaces when you're exploring was actually
The city maps also are not a good addition, because you instantaneously grasp how small the city is, and this is not, and it should not be even called a city.
probably a net negative for exploration, which was already struggling. But again, it's a topic for another day. What we're here to try in this video is the rover that allegedly fixes this problem, because it'll make it so you can go from the ship to this point of interest very, very quickly. So you're not spending 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes running to each point of interest. You can actually just arrive there fast.
By the way, I love the concept that the ship just randomly lands here. So every ship has a scanner to determine what's on the planet. They can literally see that this is a barren wasteland full of nothing, and they just decided to land there and go on a stroll, effectively.
And
This is worse than being attacked by bandits when you're the Dragonborn in Skyrim, well known through the lands for slaying multiple dragons, okay?
you know, not waste any time. Oh wait, you know what we should also check is the sniper rifle that they had as a paid DLC. Basically, if you're not familiar, Bethesda sold a quest line for like $7, and I've
10.
made a video covering this previously, which
You can't buy a pack for $7. You need to buy the pack for $10.
went through it. But basically, they made a quest that they cut out of the base game and then sold it back to people for $7. And the reward for that quest was this gun that I'm holding here. However, when they dropped the quest, you couldn't actually fire more than 4 rounds. If you fired all 4 rounds in the clip, you couldn't reload it. It was just broken. So we're going to find out together.
Yeah, that seems Bethesda.
If they actually fix that in this like latest.
I love how he's trying to be positive and whatnot, but everything he says he needs to add an addendum, it's actually bugged. Oh no, it's just this is the saddest game ever.
This patch that they just dropped today.
Well, actually, wait. We still have the Indiana Jones gameplay drop.
So let's see. 1, 2, okay, 3, 4. Can I reload?
No. Wow.
No freaking way. I am not kidding. I am pressed.
So I believe you. So you're telling me, unironically, it has been what, a month since that paid DLC slop drop, and yeah.
Pressing R. Enhance. That is the R key.
You don't even need to press R. It happens automatically when you're out of bullets.
That is the R key, and it's not reloading. They still haven't fixed it, dude. You can't make this up. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I paid $7 effectively for this gun.
Worst purchase of my life. Listen, if someone offered to make me a crack addict for $7, I think that's a worth more while investment, honestly, at this point, than buying a Starfield paid DLC.
So
Well, it's not even DLC, it's just one single 20-minute mission.
could tell you guys it wasn't worth buying, and even then, what is it now, a month or 2 after the fact, it's still broken. You can't reload the damn thing. That's I am at a loss for words. So for one, they broke textures for planets, at least for me, and they
If I bought that for $7 and the gun would be bugged, every single kindergarten in a 10-mile radius around me should be on high alert, okay? listen, I'm not saying stuff's gonna go down, but stuff would go down, and someone would have to pay.
Still haven't fixed the gun. Okay, let's see how this stupid rover works. Now, it's pretty simple. To buy a vehicle, basically you go to one of the local spaceports effectively. You talk to the guy and then you say, I want to purchase a vehicle. Okay, no problem. And then you're prompted with this: explore planets with a vehicle. Your purchase will unlock access to your own vehicle.
What does armor 25% even mean? What does this mean? Is it 25% less damage reduction? Why are all of the things the same? In the bot, I don't know. Is the vehicle 25% coated with armor? Can I buy 75% more armor? What is this?
Hangar and automatically equip your ship with the REV8, purchased for 25,000 credits. And this would make me assume they're going to be adding more vehicles, or they're going to open this to modders at the
well, yeah, it's 1 out of 1,
very least. So it looks like this is just the first of many, but we're going to say yes. You can now access your vehicles. The REV8 will automatically deploy next to your ship wherever you land.
Okay, this is what I was praying for. When he lands after the loading screen and he comes out, is there going to be unskippable animation to get into the rover? And is there going to be unskippable animation to get out of the rover? Because I need there to be one. I need more of my time wasted.
Visit a ship services tech at any major port to manage your vehicles. Okay, so let's just try it. It says I can also customize the color. Oh, wow. That's cool. I didn't see that in the trailer. I like that. Okay, let's make it this kind of burnt orange, orangey red. Okay, that looks good. Go team. Oh, look, now the textures are working again. Okay, so I don't know why that is. Let's go here. Let's just pick a random spot. We'll start in a mountainous area. And let's see how this damn thing works. This is like the first time, other than horses, that we've had vehicles in a Bethesda game, and it's previously been, as far as I've understood it from modders and people who are...
By the way, keep in mind, Starfield is a game where there are, in the lore, giant killer mechs. I just want that to sink in. And no one uses them because they're bad, including the pirates that obviously are following the laws, because why else would they be pirates to not follow the laws?
Are much smarter than me. It's because data streaming in the creation engine ain't that good.
Oh my god, he's gonna do it.
Good, but this promises to fix that. So for one, I'm gonna put on screen a little performance indicator up in the top left so you can see frames.
Yeah,
just
let's
in case
go.
The frame
Unskippable 5-second animation. Let's go.
Rate has problems, but as we start driving,
oh boy. Oh, now I feel complete. Yeah, let's go.
We got a little boost.
Wow, this looks fun.
And
this is exactly what I said, by the way, will happen because of the map designs. You're gonna jump and you're gonna be face first in a pile of rocks, and there you go.
So we can kind of gauge how this works. Now, right off the bat, I'll say it definitely controls very lightweight. It's a little weird. It can actually move in the air. So if I go off a big ramp, maybe I can show you. It doesn't seem to be like a physics-based
it's not accelerating
driving model. It seems, well, it does.
Bro, if this was physics-based, you would already be in outer space, probably.
Seem to depend on grip. I don't know. It feels just a little weird. But if I boost and I go up in the air, I hit a...
He can't because there's a rock. This is what I said the first moment they unveiled this crap. That you're just gonna constantly be face first in rocks. Because that's all the planets have. And they can't remove the rocks, because what happens if they remove the rocks? Then it's just empty space.
Rock. You can actually steer it in the air, which is a little
strange.
Weird to get used to, but I'm sure I will. And as I race up here, you can see I can steer while I'm flying. But okay, if we go first person, how does this look? Honestly, pretty good.
First person is definitely better than third one, but that's because you can't understand how bad it is.
Pretty good. Okay, and bear in mind, this is a mountainous area. This is like worst case scenario for this buggy. The best case...
It's a buggy. It was actually probably intended to be the most fun in places like this, if I would have to make a bet.
Scenario would be like a flat open moon or something. So let's try that. Here we are. This looks good. Let's just go to a really random spot, a flat spot. Let's select it, and we're going to land maybe in one of these more pretty craters. Okay.
It doesn't matter on planets where you click. You can click in an ocean and it's still gonna generate whatever random tiles it wants. It doesn't matter where you click.
We're gonna load in. Landing site looks clean. They do have this like random rock pattern that they use on a lot of these like moon bodies, I guess. And from an aerial view, it looks very, very familiar and very regular. I mean, you can kind of see the pattern breaking out, but not bad. Okay, so let's just say we're driving straight south. Okay, so I've got my objective marker pinned there. I'm gonna hop in the buggy just like this.
Yeah,
and then
unskippable animation
in that direction.
I want him to get out. I want also that to happen.
I can still use my visor, and so I can use that to analyze. But with that, we can just start driving. And the idea is basically that this should greatly speed up.
Yep, that's what I expected.
The time it takes to get to points of interest, or at the very least to...
Okay, what do you want? Spend 3 minutes going in a random direction and nothing happens, but you're not frustrated? Or you have to deal with this and not frustrated?
Explore these areas so that you know whether or not there is a point of interest. I will say already, I can tell Pop-In is certainly a
the dust is not even coming out of the right places.
Thing that we're dealing with, even with everything cranked out the ass. But this is a Bethesda game, so we're kind of used to it. And as we drive, I mean, I would guess people are going to start modding the crap out of this. I didn't mean to hop out. Okay, that's my bad.
Yeah, there was an animation for exiting. It wasn't that long, so it's almost acceptable, but still.
And people are gonna like totally unlock the boost, so you can just start flying, basically. There's gonna be a lot of crazy mods to this. But if you're just holding down W, you run at, like, you're probably rolling at about the sprint pace. I'd say probably about the sprint pace, maybe
That's
a little
bad.
bit slower. But when you're in first person, it definitely looks a lot better. But when you use the boost, it actually does boost you. I mean, you get going pretty fast. It's not that easy to control.
I hate the boost mechanics. Every fail that does a boost mechanic is absolute slop in my opinion because of one simple reason. Okay? The movement is boring because it's slow. So their solution to the slow boring movement is add a boost that has a cooldown so people can sometimes feel like they're going at an adequate speed and not bored. Why can't the normal speed just be already good? And why can't the boost just accelerate you to near light speeds? Why can't that be a thing?
And when it hits random rocks, it definitely pops off in semi-unpredictable ways. But
God,
I would
so
consider
sad.
this to be an improvement, honestly. And I mean, it's the big thing with Luke Stevens' videos. I try to be as fair as I can be. And when they do something good, they get a pat on the head. When they do something bad, like not fixing a $7 quest they sold people that should have been included in the game to begin with, and they've not fixed it after months and months, I'm going to say bad Bethesda, bad Todd. But when they do this, honestly, good job, Todd. This is good. Especially because there's...
I like how the Spade chills are constantly like, I am an objective observer. If they do bad, I will call it bad, but they never do. And when I get paid, I will call it good.
Clips of Todd Howard talking about rovers and exploration with vehicles and stuff prior to the game launching, and he said that wasn't something they were doing. They had boost packs and that's it. So to see them make a 180 and add this to the game is, I think, you know, it takes a little bit of a cojones to be willing to admit that you were wrong and add
Uh-huh.
stuff like this. So props. And if I pull up the map, you can see we've already almost reached our objective marker. It's expanded our view of the
It hasn't even been 10 years.
fishbowl that it generated for us.
Listen, he has not been driving even for 3 minutes just yet, and I already am slowly but surely reaching to the force multiplier to finally introduce my head to the freedom of air. Okay? It's bad.
And this has gone much, much faster than it would have otherwise. Running on foot, this would have taken probably twice as long, if not longer. And so I'll give them that. But my question is also whether or not they've expanded the size of the fish bowls. Because if you remember, Starfield basically
Who
creates
cares?
mini maps every time you load into a spot on a planet that wasn't handcrafted, basically.
Oh, I actually remember about this. Bethesda officially said it's impossible to actually make it that you can traverse a planet from one side to the other because the technology doesn't allow it, or some BS like that. Some modder in 2 months figured out a way you can actually make a full planet if you want without any loading screens. Bethesda, everyone, it's a sad company.
Like New Atlantis, for example. And as a result, once you reach the threshold of that tile that's
Is he gonna use a gun at any point here? Because that's kind of like the big one. Let's see if he finds a niche use for a gun. Because these things also have a weapon, but I honestly could not care less. Anyway, that was Luke Stephens. This ginormous 10 out of 10 masterwork of an update is exactly as bad as I would expect but anything Bethesda to be. 10 out of 10.